Minnesota's classic rock is your wake-up call. The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
My point is, these things are all genetic. Like, you can look at your parents and go, hey, thanks for that, or thanks for not giving me that, which, is interesting. Your parents will give you a lot of information. Some things they're very happy to tell you about, like how they met. I met your mother in 5th grade. I heard that story my whole life. One thing my parents never told me was where or how or what the context was for my conception.
Oh.
And in fact, I never thought to ask. I don't think I want to know. And I say this because in Illinois the other day, there's an oasis, a rest stop. And Illinois closed down this highway rest stop because they're going to do some road expansions. And a 21-year-old dude chained himself to the front doors so that the wrecking ball would not swing. So, okay, you see people chaining themselves to a redwood tree.
Yeah.
Or you see people like chaining themselves to a public library. He chained himself to a rest area off the highway in Illinois. He said, you don't understand. You can't knock down this rest area. This is where I was conceived. His parents, in the summer of 2001, after attending a Genesis concert in Chicago on the way back to wherever they lived, couldn't wait. They had to pull over. They had to get to know each other all over again at a rest area, and that is where the magic happened. And so this kid is literally saying, this is a sacred spot for my whole family. This is the place I was conceived.
I'm trying to forget the moment that I found out. Yeah, most of us that accidentally came across that information are trying desperately not to think about that information, let alone, make your stand based on that. My mom did not start drinking until later in life. And some years ago, less than 10 years ago at Christmas, with all the little kids running around, mom's into the wine in the kitchen there a little bit. But I can hear her from across the room. Well, Brian was conceived in a Catholic church parking lot. Your dad and I went out on a date, and we were driving back, and we couldn't wait any longer, and we whipped into the first parking lot as Catholic church, and my feet went up on the dash, and I went, Mom!
Oh, she got that detailed?
That detailed! I was like, Mom! So, Tony, you don't know. I mean, your parents were all proper about it. They never suggested to you where you were conceived.
Well, there was mention of a stork, and I just leave it at that. I don't know what the question is.
That was Larry Stork. That's a whole different thing.
Yes, he delivered milk.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm so glad to know.
And here's what I've come up with. Boys and girls, I was conceived on consecrated ground. I don't know where you guys are heading to the afterlife, but I'm skipping the line. I'm probably got a seat at the head table, trying to look at the glass half full there.
And Mom is limber.
Oh, Jesus. Anyone else?
No, I have no clue. I guarantee you my parents don't even know, because I was the 8th kid, and I don't think they were keeping up with too much of anything at that point. It was like, if they could, I don't know, maybe Thanksgiving was pretty extra special that year. Son and Thanksgiving of 1964. The turkey was a little more moist than normal, and I don't know. There was something about that white wine at the table.
92 KQRS.
They are accused of hiring a hitman to kill some other dude. This is a couple, the couple that crimes together. Hang on, the couple that hires a hitman together. The couple that is guilty of conspiracy to murder. I can't come up with it. But here's the story. A dude in prison in Pennsylvania and his woman on the outside, they decided, we've got to kill this guy. So he got his girlfriend, Lorraine, to contact a hit person. This happened to be a hit woman. Her name, Joni Pepperoni.
No.
Joni Pepperoni, literally murder for hire. I immediately go to the show Arrested Development and think of Gene Parmesan as that name. But Joni Pepperoni is a hit woman, or at least this couple thought so. Joni Pepperoni, no big surprise, is an undercover police person posing as a hit woman. I've never hired a hitman. I've never looked into hiring a hitman. I've never been in a position where I thought I could use a hitman. That said, I have a feeling that a successful hitman business transaction doesn't start with an online search. Is that just not obvious? Have we not watched enough crime shows?
You get a business card that says hitman, it's legit.
Joni Pepperoni. Don't trust anybody with an Italian meat product as a last name. Maybe that's the lesson.
I think so.
Unless
This
it's
could be a
Joey
move.
Meatballs, then
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Well, now meatballs aren't necessarily just Italian. See,
Good point,
see
Paisan.
pepperoni. You know what I'm
Swedish
saying? Like
meatballs, yeah.
Jimmy Gabagool. Whatever. There's certain things you just don't trust. That's all I'm saying.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Mike Evans. Welcome to Thursday. One more day, we got the weekend. This report, as always, brought to you by Marcus Theaters. And Mark is so proud to announce Value Tuesday. Every Tuesday, $6 for any movie and 20% off all concessions. They're all over town. Marcus Theaters, they are the best. Check them out. Got some love nuggets for you, just for your information. Tom Brady and that Irina Shayks, the Russian model, they are still going very, very strong. An oldie but a goodie, Roxanne Tunis, died this week. For over 60 years and for decades, Roxanne was Clint Eastwood's true love and Clint Eastwood's mistress. They had a daughter together. Her name is Kimberly. Kimberly is now 59 years old. And while they never married, and Clint did marry 2 other women, Clint called Roxanne his first true love, and they remained friends to the very end. She was a very wonderful lady. By the way, Clint Eastwood, now 93 years old. Here's the weirdest nugget of the day. Megan Fox will expose the sins of men in a book of poetry that she has written called Pretty Boys Are Poisonous. I told you it was weird. Another weird item, Simon Cowell is producing the TV show Ukraine's Got Talent. I don't know. Is it me, or does it just seem strange that there's going to be a TV show, Ukraine's Got Talent, when there's a war going on? I'm just saying. A little different today. Sports, shorts, 2 NFL preseason games tonight. Detroit Lions versus the New England Patriots. And how about those Vikings playing Seattle? And a full slate of games over the weekend. And since we're at that point, the NFL has just named the top 8 quarterbacks in the league. Number 8, Dak Prescott. Number 7, Aaron Rodgers of the Jets, Jets. Number 6, Kirk Cousins. Followed by number 5, Justin Herbert. And then number 4, Josh Allen. Number 3 is Joe Burrow. And number 2, Jalen Hurts. You know who number 1 is. That, of course, is Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm ready for some football. I don't know about you. Becoming one of the most popular places to scatter human ashes are golf courses. And a lot of golf courses are trying to stop that from happening. It's kind of odd. Speaking of odd, odds and ends, attending Taylor Swift's concerts in Los Angeles, Alicia Keys, Leonardo DiCaprio, the Kardashian family, the Jenner family, Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union, Katie Holmes and Surrey, Emmy Watson, Emma Stone, and Jerry Seinfeld, and 7 of his closest family members. Speaking of Seinfeld, here's an interesting nugget. Here is the current net worth of each of the Seinfeld cast. Patrick Warburton, who played Putty, worth $20 million. Michael Richards, a.k.a. Kramer, $30 million. Jason Alexander, a.k.a. George, $32 million. Julie Louis-Dreyfus, that's Elaine, $360 million, but also a lot thanks to her family's Dreyfus Fund. Larry David, $425 million, and Jerry Seinfeld, $950 million. Strike update, it's been 100 days. 100 days the strike has been going on. Talks have stopped, and there's no end in sight. Movie reviews tomorrow. Can't wait. Have a great day. We'll do it then. Mike Evans, see ya.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Let's move into social time and embarrassing moments. We've all had plenty of those, but this is a true story that a woman shared where she was on a date. They wound up going back to the dude's place, and she excused herself because she had to go. Number 2 got up, went to the bathroom. The toilet wouldn't flush. Oh. She panicked because she's at this guy's apartment. She's thinking something might happen. We might get a little bit of bow, chicka bow, bow, chicka backa bow, bow. And she's got a deuce in the toilet and it won't flush. These are her quotes. I got the toilet paper. I removed it. I wrapped it in multiple layers of toilet paper. And she didn't open a window and throw it out. She didn't put it in the trash can. She put it in her purse.
For later.
No.
Put it in her purse for later. Maybe she's a lab technician. She wants to analyze the sample. She said she went back to the couch They started making out. And then all she could think about, of course, was that there's a piece of her own poop in her purse, which that checks out. That part I relate to. Dude eventually went to the bathroom, realized it wasn't working. He fixed it, and later she snuck in and then flushed it as she should have done earlier. I'm having a hard time with this one. Is it really that embarrassing to go out and go, hey, the toilet doesn't work?
Not to a guy. You could literally come out and say, "Oh, I accidentally crapped on your floor," and the guy's going to go, "Oh, hold on, let me clean that up." If you're on a first date and things are working, I'm saying you don't have to overthink it like that. If it were the other way around, one time after dinner, come on in, have a drink, and I'm thinking to myself, better go home and take care of this. But she seemed really enthusiastic, which got me all fired up. And I said, all right, you know what? This will settle. I'll be all right. We go inside. She grabs a beer. But no, it's coming now. It's happening. So I go into the bathroom, and the odor, it was so strong that when I walked out, neither one of us said anything, but there was the buzz was killed. There was no there was no
happen.
leaning in for a kiss after that. I was like, well,
That's a tough one,
game
man.
over.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Smooth talker, you.
paint peeling off the walls.
Yeah, that's a sting that'll linger. I had a similar experience many years ago. A young lady and I, we'd been circling each other in the clubs for a while, and we had a night to remember, which I would love to forget because I woke up after a few hours really hungover. I go in, I got to take a leak. I go into her bathroom. The door doesn't shut all the way. It is like you just described. It's an apartment, but it's a very small apartment. I sit down like a gentleman to pee, and as I'm
Fancy.
sitting, what happens to me is the draft beer comes back to give me a little bit of what I would call, let's just call it a little bit of gas. But instead of a little gas, let's call it a tremendous amount of gas.
Yes.
Let's call it like methane poisoning. And it was so much that I'm just laughing. I couldn't stop just sitting there like laughing, going, this is unbelievable. And thank God she's sound asleep. Or she had been, because when I walked out of that bathroom, the look on her face looking at me, and it was just the immediate, yeah, I'm going to go now.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she's not the one.
You're just giggling as you're firing
Great
away.
gal. I was like, this is unbelievable. That was it. That was the relationship in a nutshell.
It's probably the same for women, but if you have one of those one-night love affairs and the guy's just in a hurry to get out of there in the morning, the guy really wants to get out your front door and fart. But women might do the same thing. I don't know.
You know,
Candace?
if you don't want to fart around me, that's cool, but I should be able to fart around you. Otherwise, you're not the right guy. I've noticed the guys that are weird about farting are not the right guys, and the guys that are cool about farting are pretty cool.
Do you purposely do a test? Let one fly just to see what kind of cat he is?
Well, what am I going to do?
You don't want to keep those toxic fumes inside of
Yeah, you
My
shouldn't.
gosh.
Looking
It's
good.
unhealthy. Yeah. Feeling good.
Whatever.
Is this-
I don't think farting is a big deal. Maybe.
This is a probably an appropriate time to share with everybody, if you haven't already figured this out, that I had Indian food last night.
I smell curry.
It's going to...
Leftover curry.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Signs, everybody signs.
Everybody signs.
Wait, what is it? The word?
Everywhere.
Oh.
Everybody signs.
Everybody signs because their family is deaf.
Candace, misheard lyrics. We'll have to get into that sometime.
I like that.
You know, while you're mishearing lyrics, we have a cop who accidentally turned on her radio while she was having sex on duty. Yeah, she's enjoying it. By the way, you'll hear another deputy jumping in here saying, "Open mic, warning, you have an open mic," but she's, in ecstasy. Here we go.
95 Ocean, you have an open mic.
Yes, she does have an
95
open
Ocean,
mic.
open mic. 95 Ocean. 95 Ocean, you have an open mic, secure mic.
Time for a cigarette, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. They've launched an internal investigation. After that internal investigation,
Do you think I hope I don't sound like that when I'm having sex. It sounds like she's being like possessed.
yes, yeah, no, but like guttural. Yeah, right. Sounds coming from where's that? Where the hell's that coming from?
The woods.
That's
We should do Guess That Moan. What's happening to me with each different moan that I make.
Oh, if it's sex or pain or repulsion.
And Candace, you can figure out what you sound like. It's just called recording. But do it with consent of the other person if there is another person.
Call or text 651-989-ROCK. 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm looking at a bunch of myths, and I'll be the first to tell you, I didn't realize some of these things were myths. Nothing I've had to deal with personally, but things I was under the impression were true that apparently aren't. And I'm a little thrown to the side here. Now, this is one I've never believed true. You can suck the venom out of a snake bite. Something about that always struck me as a little fishy. If a bite does have, if someone is bitten by a venomous snake, the venom's in the bloodstream right away. If you put your mouth on a bite, apparently you are bringing extra bacteria to the wound, and then you might get the venom in your own mouth, which is what always steered me away from it in the first place. Like, well, if it's going to kill them, why am I taking it into my mouth?
Did you ever siphon gas out?
Yes.
Like through a tube, get it in your mouth?
Once.
Legally.
Yeah. Tried it once just to see if it worked, and it did.
Out of taste.
Disgusting.
Right.
Yeah, really bad. The other thing, if someone is bitten by a snake, they say keep that person's heart rate low. Okay, stop right there.
Oh, good luck.
Let me tell you something, because I got a snake thing to begin with. But if a venomous snake gets a fang into me, that heart rate ain't coming down below 140 anytime soon.
All right, let's just do some yoga, deep breathing.
Yeah, no, man. I'm telling you, like, you best get me in a helicopter stat.
Carry a pan flute. They're very soothing.
I was under the impression when I was
If I bit by a snake and Tony pulls out a pan flute,
got a minute.
I'm going to spend my last minute alive choking you.
Have you got everything you need for the hike? Yeah. I got some Cliff Bars. I got a gallon of water. Oh, hang on. Where's my pan flute? Tony, I think that's a rattlesnake. Do you know green sleeves?
I do.
Do you know green sleeves on the pan flute?
Hang on, Steve.
Oh, I saw this in a movie once, which was like the international symbol from the ground to a helicopter or a plane. If you just wave your arms over your head, like a giant making the like X, crossing your hands, that signaled like danger. I'm in trouble. I need help. It means something.
Yeah.
And I remember being on a golf course as a kid, cutting across the course on the way home, and a helicopter was up in the air, and I did it. And then I saw the helicopter turn and change direction. And I went home and I thought, I scared that helicopter off. They saw me waving my arms, and I was convinced I had changed the course. Whatever course they had charted, they were warded off by my crossing the arms, and the guilt just ate me alive. And I told my mom, and she said, "Okay, honey, no, that's fine. Bring in a little bit of reality to it, calming."
Right on cue.
Uh-huh.
Hang on. If you put that tourniquet around my knee, I think the venom will stay below. I'm starting to relax now. Thanks, Tony.
I think it's going to be okay.
We're not losing you. Not today.
I didn't know you could talk and play the pan flute at the same time. It's like bagpipes that way. That's amazing.
It's eerily relaxing. It's working for me.
But by the way, I just referenced the anti-pan flute, the bagpipes. There's nothing relaxing about those.
No. Haunting.
Is that oh my God, that is a water moccasin. Get the bagpipes. No, the pan flute, you'll kill him.
Although I got to believe if you were walking through the woods playing the bagpipes, there isn't a snake that would come within a mile of you.
That's a very good point.
Prevention, like the accordion. What's going on there?
The old, the Tom Waits line, a gentleman is a man who knows how to play the accordion and chooses not to.
Yeah.
Minnesota's classic rock, 92 KQRS.
The best of the KQ Morning Show.
Back to the best of the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
The one guy that you always see at the barbecue, the dude who, with every refill of his drink, which escalates throughout the day, will then continue to ask you, "Are you good? You want another one? Are you good? I'm going to the cooler. Is anybody?" And you're like, "Dude, you haven't left the cooler. It's right next to you."
That's my Uncle Frank. He drinks a beer twice as fast as everyone else there. So it's always, "Can I get another one?" What he's really saying is, I'm an alcoholic and I don't want anyone to know. I want to seem like I'm being generous. Not a lush, but of course we know better.
I drink beer quickly, I guess, compared to a lot of people. But there was a time when I recognized, or maybe it was pointed out to me, it's not a competition. Like, and not that I was going to drink a lot, but what I have, I drink very quickly. You know, I might only have 3 beers, but I was drinking them for a combined 61 seconds, maybe. You know, it's just like
I just think you guys are being too hard on good old Uncle Frank. You know, the hostess with the mostest. If you're the host of the party and you're doing everything for everyone, you're allowed to drink.
I'll give you that. I'll totally give you that. That's fine. But you don't have to ask everyone else if they want to drink every time you get one, because you're ultimately announcing, I'm having another drink every single time. I mean, that politeness turns into a confession is what I'm saying.
I'm cool with it. It just kind of gets me going, you know.
You like to creep on people that are like the barbecue masters that are doing everything. You just want to sit there and watch them. Yeah, that's something maybe just nothing but an apron on.
I'm free this
looking for a cookout.
Looking like a man with tongs.
I don't condone violence or even being really rude to people, even if it's all in fun. I mean, if anyone's at a barbecue over the next few days and you are holding tongs, it's fine to pinch the vegan with those tongs. when your vegan friend goes, "Hey, check these out. These hot dogs are made out of green beans. Can you believe it?" When they start that nonsense, go ahead and pinch that vegan friend of yours. Right in the forearm, right in the back of the calf.
It was a couple of barbecues ago, 4th of July barbecues. My nephew brought his girlfriend. She was not a vegan, but a vegetarian. So she was like, "I'll just eat a hot dog bun." And then aren't these gluten-free hot dog buns? I'm like, "Kyle, get her out of here. Get her out of here, man. For her own good."
The hot guy who had the barbecue a few weeks ago that I went to, I was very fascinated with watching him grill. He was so amazing. He made these big, fat portobello mushrooms.
What condiments and how much do you need to get down a portobello mushroom?
I don't know how your barbecue master, your dream guy, your Ken, did his, Candace. However, these were marinated overnight in like teriyaki and all sorts.
I think so. He marinated them.
Yeah. After the party, you watched him sit in the corner, shoot up heroin.
What?
That's not what I thought.
I guess I've never tried it. I've always wondered. I've been curious. She'd go right along with a grill master, Ken.
The mushrooms just took it to another level.
This is pure heroin. It's uncut. I won't put unhealthy heroin in my bloodstream.
Yeah.